Hello, athletes and parents. Thank you guys for taking the time to come out tonight. I had this really exciting track and field season. My name is Coach C or Coach Christy. You can call me either. And I'm really excited to be the head coach this year. A little bit about me is I was a collegiate track and field athlete at Concordia St. Paul. And I love all things track and field. I'm a track and field nerd, so I'm really excited to be coaching this year. And I just wanted to gather us all so that we can go over some of my rules and expectations, kind of get the feel for things for this upcoming season, and also give you guys some time to, ask me questions and any questions you have about the season. I know, as it comes and then it goes, so as fast, as you think. So just let me know if you guys have any questions at the end, or if anything I say is confusing, just put that hand up and I will try to answer it as best as I can. So let's get right into it. I don't want to take too much of your time. So we're just going to start off with talking about some of the team rules and consequences. It's never fun having to talk about these things, but super necessary so that everyone knows kind of that foundational do's and don'ts and there's no confusion. So starting off, we're going to talk and just hit on alcohol and drugs. I really don't want to spend that much time on this to start with. We're in high school. We should not be drinking. We should not be doing drugs. Bottom line, if you are going to drink or do drugs, or that's just something that you cannot give up, then I recommend, kind of evaluating yourself when you leave here. I don't mean to sound harsh, but that's a zero tolerance policy on my team. So, yeah, if you are caught doing any of those things by me, by teammates, and this goes not just for in school, this is on the weekends, etc. Not only is it bad for you, but it can impact your team, because if we're running, a meet and you are hungover, etc., etc. So again, that's a zero tolerance policy. That'll be immediate termination from the team. Next, I'm going to touch on attendance and tardiness to practice. I get we all have lives outside of here. I do too. So if you have to miss practice for anything, please just communicate it beforehand. I'm super lenient with that kind of stuff when I get that life happens. You might get a flat tire. You might need a mental health day. You might have some family issues. Whatever it is, need extra time to study, just communicate. That's all I ask. I don't really do well with the no-show, no call, no show policy. That we'll have to discuss. But if you communicate with me beforehand, that should never be a problem. Tardiness, if you're going to be late to practice, again, please just let me know. That goes beyond this room when you've got a job past high school, all that type of stuff. So, if you're going to be tardy, if you're going to be late, you have something to do after school, you got to talk to a teacher, you had a dentist appointment, whatever it is, just communicate that. If you do not communicate that and you think you're just going to stroll into practice late, I recommend just not showing up and letting me know, hey, I was going to be late and I had no reason to be late besides I was dilly-dallying, and just let me know. Because, when you're late, you kind of disrupt the entire flow of practice, if that makes sense. And in addition, family vacations. If you have family vacations planned already, again, just let me know. I get that, this high school sport may not be your entire life or your entire priority. And you might have those family vacations that are out of your control. But again, as long as we have some clear communication on that, you'll be all good. Social media. So when we're in practice, okay? You've got all day after practice to play on your phones and stuff. So all I ask is when we're at practice, we're focused on track. And again, your actions affect everyone, so just keep that in mind. And along with that, we shouldn't have our phones out at practice. So if for some reason you do, there's absolutely no tolerance policy on taking pictures of other people, posting it, pictures of me, etc., and stuff like that. And those are kind of like our ground rules and my ground policies. I just want to create a super a welcoming environment, and just an environment that we're all going to thrive in. And we can't do those sorts of things when we have people, um, missing practice, not communicating, all that stuff. So parents, this next section is for you. So in terms of communication with you, the handout I gave you all has my email. That's going to be the best way to reach me. This can be for, if you have any questions for me personally, any accommodation asks, anything like that, that just pops up. Even just if you want to get to know more about me, you can always shoot me an email. If it's more urgent, I also have an extension number to my classroom on there, so you can call that up. But I do quickly respond to emails. Expectations for the program. So obviously my goal is to win, and I want all of us to win, because life feels 100% times better when you are winning. But I want, rather than being known as the winning team, I want our team to be the team that has good sportsmanship, that always is at the track supporting each other, and always having positive attitudes. Okay, it sucks when you don't, something doesn't go your way. And track, there are a lot of downs. So just, I want you guys, when you're done with your event, to cheer on your teammates. That's a big one for me. We're gonna all, unless you have spoke to me before, we're all gonna stay until the end of the meets so that we can cheer on our teammates in that last 4x4 event. That's just, they're there cheering you on. So always cheer your teammates on. In terms of relays and what varsity heats and stuff like that, that's all going to be determined from practice times. I do stuff strictly on time. So if you run, if I have 4 people, I just take the 4 fastest times. Now if you are someone who is one of those people in the relays, whatever, that has a fast time, but you aren't following everything else I said, if you're missing practice, you will be immediately pulled, if not suspended for a few practices, because I have a duty to teach you guys about life beyond track. Yes, I'm your track coach, but there's so many skills that as athletes you learn: time management, communication, all these different things by being a track athlete. So cutting policy, this is beyond me, but I think that it's a great rule. If your grades are slipping, you're not going to be able to compete. That's just a school rule. So keep that in mind. Your academics are always going to come first. If you have plans to compete after college, or after high school rather, in college, that is, applied there as well. There is no sport without academics, so you need to make sure you're doing good in the classroom. So yeah, I'll open up the floor to questions. Anyone that wants to get to know me or have any questions about, I know I just spoiled a lot. I didn't want to take too much of you guys' times. I'm going to be passing out a paper basically reiterating everything I just said, and have everyone sign it so that we're all on the same page, that you do understand everything I said about the attendance, alcohol, all of those things. So yeah, I'll open the floor up and I'll get those papers passed out. Thank you.